really believe you're not behind right now?
I think it's all pollsters I talk to tell me it's a toss-up.
So I get home from work yesterday and I'm looking for something to watch and just chill out to. And I remember that Biden is going to do this puff piece interview with George Stephanopoulos. And I'm thinking, okay, he's definitely got to have a better performance than he did during the debate, which obviously left most Democrats in panic mode. But knowing that this thing was only going to be a half an hour meant it was definitely going to be edited 6 ways from Sunday. Still, though, from an entertainment point of view, this interview did not disappoint. Just wanted to share a couple highlights of it that I assumed, kind of wrongly, would be as gentle on Biden as possible. I mean, it's George Stephanopoulos, for God's sake. He's basically a Democrat fixer. Weirdly enough, though, I came away thinking George was pretty stern with him throughout. The whole thing came across as more of a live intervention than a public mental stability showcase.
Did you ever watch the debate afterwards?
I don't think I did, no.
You don't think you did? I can understand the sentiment of just throw the tape away, there's no reason to watch it. That's a common trope in sports after an extremely bad performance. Like, there's nothing you can learn from watching the tape, just be better at everything next time. But it does not sound good on his behalf that he can't remember whether or not he watched it. He should have phrased that better. In the best case scenario, he's being evasive because he doesn't want to talk about it, and at worst case, he's literally not remembering if he watched it. Then George asks him, it's kind of a funny out-of-pocket question.
What were you experiencing as you were going through the debate? Did you know how badly it was going?
Yeah, look, the whole way I prepared, nobody's fault mine. Nobody's fault but mine.
I don't want to be overly critical here, but this is just a little stumble of words that isn't helping his argument. It comes across as an attempt to repeat a simple line, which is, we all know too often, he is incapable of doing.
How quickly did it come to you that you were having that bad night?
Well, it came to me as having a bad night when I realized that even when I was answering a question, even though they turned his mic off, he was still shouting. And I let it distract me. I'm not blaming it on that. But I realized that I just wasn't in control.
Okay, so this is a terrible excuse for so many reasons. First off, I can't remember a more subdued Donald Trump. He was on his absolute best behavior, like he was an 18-year-old kid at his girlfriend's parents' house for the first time for dinner. All that was missing was him saying yes, sir, and yes, ma'am to the debate moderators. The rules laid down by the Biden campaign obviously helped him out. So I was surprised to hear Biden claim that Trump was shouting. So I went back to find the few times that Trump actually spoke after his mic shut off, and here they are.
I'll veto it. He'll sign it.
Thank you.
Let's turn now to the issue of immigration and border security.
So Trump tries to get a word in after the buzzer. They keep him muted and keep it moving. No shouting, right? Second interruption.
You can see he is 6'5" and only 223 pounds, or 235 pounds. Well, you said 6'4", 200. Well, anyway, that's it. Anyway.
Biden tried a joke at Trump's expense, which admittedly would have been pretty funny if he could have landed the punchline. But sadly for Joe, he just couldn't cross that finish line. He's saying clearly Trump is lying and lies about everything. Quote, you can see he's 6'5" and 223 pounds. It's like a mashup of saying 225 or 235. He just couldn't make up his mind. So he just said 223. So Trump interrupts to say that he never said that. I mean, you can hear it. He's absolutely not shouting. The third interruption comes right after, and this is when they're arguing about who's better at golf. And you can count this as an interruption from Trump, yet still no shouting.
I told you before, I'm happy to play golf if you carry your own bag. Think you can do it?
That's the biggest lie. He's a 6 handicap of all.
I was an 8 handicap.
Yeah.
8.
Never.
But I have, you know how many?
I've seen you swing. I know you swing.
Okay, let's
not act like children.
President Trump, we're going to
21
Let's not act like children.
That is it. No other interruptions happen from the Trump side. So what is Biden talking about? Now, you knew this question was coming, and when asked if he's open to an independent mental examination, he completely dances around the topic and refuses to agree to take one. Why?
Have you had a full neurological and cognitive evaluation?
I get a full neurological. test every day with me. And I've had a full physical. I had, I've been at Walter Reed for my physicals. Yes, the answer is
I know your doctor said he consulted with a neurologist. I guess I'm asking a slightly different question. Have you had the specific cognitive tests, and have you had a neurologist, a specialist, do an examination?
no one said I had to. No one said, they said I'm good.
To reassure them, would you be willing to have the independent medical evaluation?
Watch me there's a lot of time left in this campaign. It's over 125 days.
So
I'll make a decision.
the right answer right now is no, you don't want to do that right
No,
now.
I've already done it.
Now, this sounds bad as a soundbite, as if he's saying that they test him every day because presumably he requires one, but that's not what I think he's actually saying. I think he's saying his job, by definition, is a neurological test, which is a sad version of mental gymnastics that no one is going to fall for, except, of course, Harry Sisson. This is such bad news for the Democrats that want to pull him out of the race. He's literally refusing to do what's best for the party, and he put an exclamation point on that fact by saying this.
But if they do,
Well, it's like, they're not going to do that.
you sure?
Well, yeah, I'm sure. Look, if the Lord Almighty came down and said, Joe, get out of the race, I'll get out of the race. The Lord Almighty's not coming down.
I agree that the Lord Almighty is not going to come down, but if you are told reliably from your allies, from your friends and supporters in the Democratic Party, in the House and the Senate, they're concerned you're going to lose the House and the Senate, you stay in, what will you do?
I'm not going to answer that question. It's not going to happen.
Another thing I wanted to mention is Stephanopoulos bringing up the number of Americans that think he's too old to serve as president having doubled. This launches Biden into the Democrats' really only play that they're running right now, if you've noticed, which is Trump is a liar.
And let me ask the crowd, what did Trump do? Lie! Yes.
Biden may be senile, but it's better than being a liar. I'd just like to argue that there's a lot of middle ground between disagreeing with someone and them lying. I feel like people on both sides of the political aisle conflate lying with things they don't agree with. Then Biden goes dark Brandon, threatening that he's going to challenge Trump the way that he's never been challenged before.
Wouldn't a clear-eyed political calculus tell you that it's going to be much tougher to win in 2024?
Not when you're running against a pathological liar. Not when he hadn't been challenged in a way that he's about to be challenged. Not when people...
You've had months to challenge him.
Oh, sure I had months, but I was also doing a hell of a lot of other things, like wars around the world.
And there you have it, folks. His bad performance in the debate is because he was tired because of all the wars that the United States are now a part of, thanks to Joe Biden and his administration. I could go on and on about this embarrassing puff piece, but I want to know what you think in the comments. Thanks for hanging out, and I'll see you guys soon.